Hello, everybody. I am Emmanuel out of 600. You can call me 600 the God, and you are live on the Court of Public Opinion. On the Court of Public Opinion, I preside over as the Pilato or the judge of this show. Who do we have here today? Honorable Muntaka Mubarak, the Interior Minister and the MP for Aswase constituency in the Ashanti region. He's made a public statement, and I disagree vehemently with what he said. And as such, I want to put on the record what he said, and I want to show us all the video and what he said in the video. So let's take a look at this video where he was addressing the public and he was speaking on Galamsey and the involvement of foreigners or Chinese nationals in Galamsey. He cited several reasons as to why he thinks deportation is best for other foreign nationals, but imprisonment is good for Ghanaians. I think he has a point. I would want us to watch the video and come back to dissect this whole story.
I also take this opportunity, the media, ladies and gentlemen, to address some concerns raised by some civil society organizations and the media about my recent comment with regards to removal of foreigners within our country. Let me say that what we did was lawful. If you check the Deportation Act, it is lawful. If you check the mineral mining laws, it's one of the options that we have. But let me just give you one of the key reasons why we opted to do that. In 2023, total number of individuals that were arrested that were properly recorded. As we all know, some get arrested and along the line a lot of things happen and they just get away without even being recorded in the system. But those that were properly recorded and charged were 218. At the end of 2023, only 24 were able to be prosecuted. Only 24. Without a single foreigner being among the 24. In 2024, that was just last year, 627 were properly recorded. Only 11 were prosecuted without a single foreigner. So, if you are the Minister for Interior and you know that foreigners are taking undue advantage of our judicial system and its delay and adjournment and weakness in our system, tell me what you do. I will say that our prime aim is to protect this country and to make sure that it continues to be safe. And most of them, when they get into our country, when you arrest them, they pretend that they don't have even passport. The Comptroller General is here. They pretend that they don't have passport. They give you fake names. When you take them to court, they take advantage of our delays in our court system. They get bail, and before you realize, they relocate to other communities and continue the harm that they are doing. That is why we resolve that for two crimes, one, finding yourself in our forest, and two, doing defrauding. For these two, when we get you, our option is to take you back into your country. And this we will continue to do to make sure that we sanitize the system. Because if, for example, last year, out of the 627 that were arrested, and almost about 200 foreigners were among them, if we had removed them out of our country, those doing Galamsey in our country, the number would have reduced. But because they continue to evade or they continue to elude the judicial system, they continue to find themselves in our system and continue to create harm. As we speak, the devastation in our forest has gotten to 550 hectares. When we talk about 550 hectares, people may not appreciate it, but I know everybody knows how big the football pitch is. When we talk about the football pitch, when you go to a stadium, where the football is played.
Looking at the video, he stated several instances which I think is somewhat laudable. He stated that his reasons for opting for deportation is because some Chinese nationals get arrested in these forest reserves and you question them and they tell you they do not have their passports. Over the years, he's looked at prison records and you realize that all the Chinese or foreign nationals that were arrested are not in our prisons. Some way, somehow, they have vanished and we do not have any records of them. And he also stated that because they tell you they do not have their passports and that it makes it difficult to find their country of origin or where they are from. Speaking to this, he's also made us, or he's made the whole world and the public in general aware of how weak our judicial system is. And based on what he said, he suggested that because of the foregone, he thinks deportation is best for foreign nationals. And yes, definitely we would prosecute Ghanaians and have them in prisons. And he also stated that our prisons are packed and are not in very good conditions for these foreign nationals. And I feel that shows, his statement shows how weak we are as a country and how I want to use better words, that's why I'm taking my time. But his statement in general shows how weak we are as a country. To be able to tell us, one, we get people in our system and we are supposed to arrest them and they are nowhere to be found in our prison. People who are supposed to be in prison and nobody is held accountable. Can you believe this? Now, let me give you a case study and to buttress why I think what he said is weak and I think what he's saying actually needs a policy review. I am of the opinion that those foreign nationals that are caught in our system are being processed through our court and are being imprisoned with the harshest of punishments because right now Galamsey is a national canker. Galamsey is a threat to national security as stated by several presidents. So we must deal with this issue head on and we must not shy from it. We must not shy from the fact that our paymasters would be mad if we prosecute their nationals. This is a threat against Ghanaians and the citizens are angry because at a point in time, Ghanaians would be born without limbs just because of the pollution of the environment. In years to come, we wouldn't have potable water to drink. And let's look at this. We might be making money from Galamsey, but let's look at the millions of dollars we are also putting in the Ghana Water Company to distill our water for us. So it's literally like robbing Peter to pay Paul, and we are running circles and we are not going anywhere. What we are doing is losing as a country. And that is what I want us to look at. Recently, Donald Trump, yes, the POTUS, the president of America, did something, and I would want us to watch this video, where he stated that anybody who attacks the Tesla dealership or Tesla products would be in prison for 20 years if you are found liable. Recently, so many protesters and so many people are attacking Tesla-made products after Donald Trump appointed Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, to be in charge of Doge, D-O-G-E, Doge. You understand? So Doge is literally an institution set up by Trump to look at financial malfeasance, or as it were, financial, embezzlement and mismanagement of funds. And so many Americans are angry, and because of that, they have been attacking Trump very much. But Trump has said these terrorists, he called them terrorists, because right now he feels they are attacking one of the biggest companies in America, one of the biggest companies that has had impact, real impact in America. So he says these people are terrorists, and if they are found liable to the crime they committed, they would be jailed for 20 years.
You're all looking at 20 years in prison, and within the next 24 hours, you're going to be seeing another huge arrest on a Tesla dealership president, and that person will be looking at least 20 years in prison with no negotiations.
That's great. That will stop it.
This is spot on. This is how we must deal with this canker called Galamsey in Ghana. He didn't shy away from it. And he said this process is going to be fast. If you are caught, we are not going to take any explanations from you. You are going to be jailed straight away. And that is what we call a working president. He knows his priorities, he knows it, and he stands by it, even though or even when it's unpopular. And that is what Americans voted for. So I beg to differ. We can't have our interior minister telling us that we must deport foreign nationals. You are here just telling us that you do not even have access to their passport, because when you get them, they mention wrong names. They will tell you they do not have access to their passport, but you want to deport them. We live in a country where we've been able to see that, okay, some people were caught. There was a precedent where Aisha Wan was caught and deported to China, and she made way to Ghana. She made her way, she found her way back into the country. So this is a clear indication that deportation is not going to work. We must prosecute them in our system and make sure they are jailed. We must. Because we can't have all these people pollute our country and live freely. Poor you, these Chinese are looking at us and they are saying we are not a serious country, because if our interior minister cannot say this, then we are not a serious country, because these people are going to commit crimes against us, enrich themselves in our country, and we deport them back to their countries to live a lavish life off of the money they made from us. Come on, I disagree with the honorable interior minister, and I think this policy needs to be reviewed, because we all admit Galamsey is a canker in our nation, and we all admit that is a national threat. So we must start treating it as such. We shouldn't be treating this matter with kid gloves. No, it's a very serious issue, and even if I think these government officials owe us, even if it will make them unpopular, they should do that to save the future generations. And that is where I stand. Let me know if you have a different opinion. Let me know if you think there is a better solution to this. I'm Emmanuel out of 600. I've been your Pilato on the court of public opinion. I'm signing out.